Well, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to NJPW Puroresu Review. I am your co-host Andre C. Hanging out with me here as always. It's so wonderful, that beautiful. She is Princess Melball. How you doing, Melball?
I am doing pretty good today, Andre. I had an interesting day. I kind of stayed home today because there's a lot of renovations happening at my gym right now. I'm very excited to see what they have kind of getting set up. You know that thing that you said that you had that you put around your waist and you could squat on it?
Mm-hmm.
We finally have one.
Ooh. That's
I'm
good for
excited.
people. As Rich King was saying, that's very good for people with shoulder injuries who want to keep doing like squatting things, so you don't have to wreck your shoulder. So it's very good for you.
Very much so, especially considering I'm using the hack machine and it like perpetually bruises my shoulders.
Mm.
So yeah. So I had a shoulder workout at home today because I did not want to have to fight anybody for free weights because I might have muscle, but it's all glamour. It's zero function. She's pretty. These are glamour muscles. They just
Mine just I do this, and it's the cartoon like. Wow.
Oh, Andre, how are you doing today?
I'm doing good. I went to work today. Worked my job today, and did some work, and then finished this show at 6:03 a.m. today.
Well, that's impressive.
Because I was watching over the last couple days, and then I fell asleep during the IWGP Junior title match, and not because of the match, just it was about 10:30, and I had worked all day, and I fell asleep, and then I woke up at 11:30, and I went, oh shit, I my show. Like, oh okay, I just set an alarm for 5 a.m. and got up and finished the show.
That's fair.
Yeah,
That's fair. As long as we got it all watched.
we did.
That's fair.
I did. So I'm here
Man,
to
we
talk about
have
it now.
some interesting things to talk about on this show too. Lots of stuff. I almost predicted something.
Well, we'll get to that.
We
I
will.
I did predict something on this show.
You did, and I have thoughts on it.
Aren't you? I am very angry. Even though what I predicted came true, I am very angry. So, yeah. So we're here to talk Power Struggle 2024 from Osaka, Japan, the home of Master Wato.
Yes.
If you didn't hear the commentary team, an English commentary. But before we do that, I want to thank each and every one of you. Thank you all for tuning in here. Whether you're listening in audio form, A Plus Productions, thank you so very much for tuning in and listening to us. APlusProductions.com. You can find us on the A Plus Wrestling feed over there. Just add us to your podcast catcher of choice. Give us a like. And go over, join the Facebook page, and you can join in with some great conversation with some great people over there. And if you are watching on the YouTube, thank you so very, very much. We really do appreciate it. Joining us right here at Andre at youtube.com/at Andre and Melball Wrestling Talk. We appreciate you. For those people listening on Plus Productions, I want them to know our page, our YouTube page. Thank you so much. Please like the video, subscribe to the channel, comment down below. Don't forget to share that, tell your friends, family, and those that are just full of all the high voltage. And don't forget to hit that notification bell so you can be alerted every time we drop a new video.
Ding dong.
Hello.
Oh man, I have things to pop off on this show. I'm excited to see what we agree and disagree on. It's going to be an interesting show.
Like, overall, I thought this was a very good show. Like,
Oh yeah.
the show overall, like the way they told some of the stories on this show,
Mm,
and for most of what they set up, I am very happy with, except for two
mhm.
things. I'm happy with the thing they set up, but I'm unhappy how we got there with one of them. The other one, I'm like, ugh, come on, really? I knew it's where we were going, but come on, really?
I have opinions. Yes, I think we might have something similar to say on some things.
I
I don't
think we
know.
do.
We'll have to see. We'll see. We'll see. Yeah, but you're right. This show brought out a lot of emotions for me. Some of them for the right reasons, some of them for the wrong reasons. We're gonna
Mhm.
go through it. We're gonna unpackage this trauma together.
Yeah, let's unpack it all together. We're gonna get to that. So I'm gonna bring the graphics here for those watching on the video version. We kicked it off with a six-man tag team match. It on the kickoff show is Ninja Mac, the DKC, and Yo taking on Tigre Suicida, which is Capitan Suicida, and Tiger Mask, teaming up with the Young Lion Show Makato. I really liked Suicida's gear here. Very Mayan influenced here.
Very,
Yeah,
very much so, with all the LED lights and everything. Very, very cool.
yeah. And then his gear almost seemed like a tribute to Max Moon.
I don't know who that is.
Conan's WWE gimmick from the 90s.
That's probably why I don't know.
If you go and look up who Max Moon is and you look at Capitan's gear, it was very reminiscent. But he was in Melball purple, so
He was. The purple was appreciated.
yeah. I will say this to DKC's gear. I much prefer this blue and red gear than
Mm,
that god awful yellow or the basic black gear that he has. That yellow
yeah.
is just god. Like Captain Sudacita wears yellow perfectly. DKC does
Plus,
not.
I feel that like Captain also has a better skin tone for yellow
Hmm.
than DKC, but I agree, and it matched Ninja Max a little bit more because Ninja Max has that little accent of colors, sometimes blue, sometimes red. It kind of matches with
Mm.
DKC overall. So yeah, no peck popping for this one. Did you notice?
No. Yeah, I didn't see any peck popping out of the yo.
No.
Mac and Capitan flipping around together. I really like that. Them out trying to
Mhm,
outflip each other. The beautiful tope con hilo by Capitan to Mac on the floor.
mhm.
Yo's in there at one point. Give it out. Dragon screws like they're candy on Halloween. And uh, Kato's in at one point with, I guess, the Boston Crab on the DKC. But he fights it off. And he fights it and gets to the ropes. He then starts up kicking Kato away and catches him into that DK fire and just those chops. I
Oh yeah, I love that.
I this man has to be a fan of either Super Smash Brothers or the '90s game Earthbound. One of the two, because PK Fire comes from Earthbound, and that it's what those characters from Earthbound yell constantly in Super Smash Brothers. So he's a fan of one of those two games. He's the other fan of
Well,
Super. Yeah,
Andre, clip it, send it out to him, tag him in social media,
we need to
ask him what
find
it
out.
is.
We need to find out.
You
The end
need the
of this.
scoop. You have to join Kimmy with the Scoops McGee. You need a number.
Yeah, so we get to the end of this match. Ninja Mac hits the Ninja Special, which is the multiple backflips into the moonsault over the top rope to Tiger Mask and Capitan on the floor. DKC then hits the springboard into the zero fire kick to Shoma Kato to get the win.
Felt like Ninja Mac was in this match quite a bit for his side of the team.
Mm,
And he took quite a bit of, like, he showed off quite a bit with Capitan and Tiger Mask. But I also feel he kind of got his ass whooped a little bit by Tiger Mask. Tiger Mask seemed a little pissy. I
yeah.
don't know what it was, but he was showing some attitude in this. I liked it though. Liked it, especially because like he had a lot to be mad about with some of the matches that they had throughout the Super Junior Tag League there, with especially with like House of Torture and Bullet Club in general, just kind of ripping at the masks and kind of pissing these guys off. I've really enjoyed Capitan Suicida. throughout the Super Junior Tag League and in this match. I love how he has this like little touch of flair that he does with his lucha stuff that sets him apart from the other lucha style. That whistling, the first couple times that I heard it in the tag league, I was like, what is that? Is someone got like a whistle in the thing? And then I think it was Walker on commentary. He's like, oh yeah, Capitan with his interesting distractions is whistling and stuff. Can you imagine? It sounds like a missile. And I was like, oh, light bulb moment. That's where that was. Super cool. I really like that. I also felt that when poor Shomakato got in here, he kind of got the fresher too in Yo and GKC in this one, and he got his poor young lion booty whipped as well in this one. But this was this was the pre-show match, right?
Yes, this was the kickoff match, yeah.
Yeah. I really enjoyed this. I actually really enjoyed this. I enjoy this like soft comeback that Yo has kind of been doing, where he's done the opposite of Master Wato. He's kind of low played his return kind of thing. He just kind of showed back up and everyone was like, oh my God. And he's just like, nah, it's not a big deal. I like the casualness of it because since he has come back, he has been putting on tremendous matches all over the card. I've been very, very impressed with it. I suspect it, depending on the outcome of what happens with the IWGP Junior Championship at Wrestle Kingdom, Yo might consider throwing his name back in there, especially given the time that he left and reasoning why and stuff. Be challenging for the championship at the time, but suffering that shoulder injury. I suspect we'll see him in the title run again.
Yeah, I very much could see that. I did like the commentary here going, "Where's Rocky? Where's Rocky?" The guy, the guys that went during the entrance for Yo and Jamak and DKC is like, "Where's Rocky?" Because he's already gone back to the U.S. So I just find
Oh,
that humor. He's already back in the U.S. I'm pretty sure. Because otherwise, you think if he would have hung around the last couple of days, he would have been at the show. But
yeah, I was gonna say that also kind of explains something later in the show, which I'm gonna bitch about.
okay, that sounds fun. We move on to the first match on the main card. It's pretty much the rest of the Super Junior Tag League, minus the two teams that are in the finals. Is the Intergalactic Jet Setters, Kevin Knight and Kushida, the current IWGP Junior Heavyweight Tag Team Champions, for teaming up with the Velocities, Jude London and Paris De Silva, along with Young Lion Katsuyua Murashima, who I think is doing great work.
Yeah,
Taking
so
on
good.
and they're taking on the Bullet Club of Gabe Kidd, Robbie X, Taiji Ishimori, and two of the men, one half of the best match of the Super Junior Tag League itself, the actual tournament rounds. Clark Connors and Drilla Maloney of the War Dogs. Man, their match with Robbie Eagles and Kosei Fujita in the tag league is easily the best of the round matches in that tag league.
Mhm.
I think tonight's main event
Agreed.
is the best of the tag league. Tonight's finals was the best of the tag league overall. But if you're
Mhm.
not counting the finals, yeah, it's the War Dogs and
Mhm.
Ichiban Sweet Boys. That match was amazing.
100%.
So yeah,
100%.
everybody's in brawling. The Velocities hit this back handspring stunner into a German on Ishimori. I was like, I like that. Um,
Mhm.
yeah, just a couple other spots here. Knight hops over the double leg and gets a double backflip double kick to the War Dogs. Is really good. Connors does get a huge gore on Knight, and Kushida falls over the huge lariat to Connors. Just crazy stuff. So there's a beautiful tornado kick into the corner by Robbie X to one of the Velocities, then falls over the shooting star pressed. And then he gets caught by the other. Then he ends up running at the other Velocity. Again, I'm not sure which one's which. Even in my head, I know they're two completely different people. Just it's hard for me to keep track. And that one catches him
Um,
with the Spanish Fly. Great little sequence here.
Jude is the one with all the tattoos. De Silva is the one with no tattoos.
I didn't write down which one it was. I just said a velocity, then the other velocity, so I still don't know which one. Dude, when kids shop Murashima the first time,
I think the
I fell for that boy.
Walker Stewart, the whole after that point was just he's just a boy. He's just a boy, and I'm just sitting there. Think of the children.
No, weaponize the children.
What? He clearly needed it, man.
Yeah. So the end of this match comes. Robbie X's assisted rope walk corkscrew moonsault to everyone to all of his opponents on the floor, and then they just go to work on Murashima. War Dogs hit and run. Robbie X off the top with the I can't remember what the name of it is. It's a spiral tap off the top. Ishimori then hits a bloody cross. Connors hits no chaser. Drilla hits a Drilla Killer, and then Kid finishes it with a pile driver for the win. And I'm just like, they just murdered this boy.
Yeah. Yeah. And I sent you a picture on Instagram of Drilla Maloney hitting the Drilla Killer on Murashima, and the smile on his face was
disturbing.
It was unsettling. It was so unsettling how happy he was taking joy in destroying this poor boy. Holy fracking shit. But if there was any question, any question whatsoever about the Bullet Club and its dominance, I beg you to reevaluate that question. After watching this match, these guys picked apart some of the four of the best technical guys that they had in that Super Junior tag league. They picked them apart methodically, sadistically, alienating Murashima for that beatdown at the end. It was so great, though, the story that was told there. So good. Because this really does set up War Dogs again as the most dominant faction in the company. It's crazy.
It really is. It really is. So we move on to an 8-man tag team match. Sorry, this is the rest of the Super. I forgot about these Super Juniors. So a few more Super Juniors in here. It is the Skateboard Bros, or as I like to call them, the Skate Bombs. Dragon Dia, or Dia, whatever you want to call them, and Ryusuke Taguchi, the Gooch, teaming up with the jacked as hell Tomoaki Hanma. Mel just messaged me when she was watching this show going, man, Hanma is jacked.
He was the most jacked one of all of these men. And Yoda Tsuji is in the ring with him. Who should arguably, and like Dragon Dia, 24 years old, also phenomenal shape, very calisthenic cut. But Hanma, holy shit.
Yeah. And then also teaming with the Joker of professional wrestling, Toru Yano, and they are going up against LIJ's Bushi, Hiromu Takahashi, Tetsuya Naito, and Yota Tsuji. I love Bushi's entrance mask throughout this tournament because he's been wearing Kamen Rider helmets. Freaking Kamen Rider helmets. Oh, I love it. I love it so much.
Care to explain that to the people who don't know what that is?
Okay, if anybody knows Super Sentai, which is Power Rangers over here, this is another show made in the same universe, Kamen Rider, and there was one season of an American version of the show, which it's called I think it's called Mask Rider. I didn't care for it. But if you watch the Japanese version, Kamen Rider is very good. I know our friends Doif and Adam are big fans of Kamen Rider. So, but damn, like Bushi coming out with the Kamen Rider mask, I was very appreciative of the Kamen Rider masks.
Yeah. Awesome.
Yeah. Yoda gets Gooch crotches him on the top rope and then starts the shaking of the ball and just crushing his balls. Then
So
Bushi
good.
gets in with him and just starts steps on his balls and is holding the legs and just jumping and spinning around in a circle. And the refs going, no, 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 at him. It was so good. Oh, so good. Dia or Dia, whatever. It's Dia or Dia?
Daya.
Dia.
Listen to the
Dia get.
commentary. It's Daya.
I don't. Yeah, Dia getting a huge reaction from the crowd when he got tagged in here. I'm like, man, this kid is over as hell. Dia does a great job fighting off 3 members of LIJ, sweeps the legs of Naito, hits a tornado. Sweeps him he does this thing almost like a wheelbarrow to in from the outside, grabs the feet and pulls them back and sweeps them down, and then does a tornado over the top, that spin over the top rope. Dude, it was great on a Naito. There's an atomic drop to stop that bum rush of Gooch by Hiromu and sends him right into a Naito assisted tornado DDT. The end of this match comes. Hanma hits a rocket Kokeshi, then another Kokeshi to Hiromu. He comes running at Hiromu. Hiromu pops him up, and then he drops him down on his knees, gets him into maximum holding, and Naito gets Yano in a modified figure 4, and Hanma is forced to tap out to the maximum holding. And then I feel like they're setting up, because Hiromu on his wrist tape said had World Tag League written on there. And I feel like, being that we know later on, we find out what Tsuji's doing. I think the only person for him to go into Tag League with, I think, is probably Naito. I think Hiromu and Naito in the World Tag League would be great. But I heard rumors a while back that Naito they were looking to do Naito and Hiromu at the Dome. So I don't know where we go here. I would like to see Naito and Hiromu in the World Tag League. I think that'd be a great team in there.
I agree. Here's the thing. There's 2 people that I would like to see Hiromu tag with in World Tag League. Naito would be a very interesting story of adversity, because Naito and Hiromu have this interesting sibling bond where Naito is perpetually just picking on and antagonizing Hiromu, and Hiromu is having these youngest sibling tantrums with him that just they are adorable. And you can tell the crowd feels for Hiromu. They're always kind of getting on Naito when he does stuff like that. But it's a sibling rivalry kind of thing. So there's a story that could be told with the 2 of them reluctantly tagging in World Tag League. But there's also that other sibling kind of connection that Hiromu kind of has with Shingo Takagi. And Shingo Takagi, I think, would be a interesting story to tell with Hiromu as well, because you would have that opposite, I think, kind of connection. Whereas instead it would be with Naito, it would be that reluctancy and maybe that kind of picking on each other throughout the tournament. I feel like Shingo and Hiromu would almost have that united sibling kind of front where they would work very, very well together. Regardless, I don't think either one has anything going on as far as we know for Tokyo Dome, which is odd, isn't it?
Well, and it's just a story they've been telling with those 2 of having that rivalry where Naito picks on Hiromu, Hiromu fights back like it's the big brother, little brother sibling rivalry, is why is the rumor, the things I've been hearing, it seems like it's something they're building for the Dome. It seems like what they're
Keeping in
doing.
mind, though, also, we have also seen a lot of this sibling rivalry kind of going on with Naito and almost everybody but Bushi
That's true.
in LIJ, because we've seen that animosity a little bit with Tsuji when Tsuji first came back, and I had to kind of take a couple high intensity, high impact losses to kind of, I guess we'll say, find his place in LIJ. And we were sitting there thinking for a while that he might be gunning for leadership of LIJ. And then we have Shingo Takagi, who is very much button heads with Naito, especially when Naito was still IWGP champion. It would seem, though, that the absence of the championship hasn't done anything to really sway that rivalry. There still seems to be some lingering tension. So it just kind of seems like everybody's kind of spatting with Naito right now in his faction.
Maybe it ends up being like Takagi versus Naito at the Dome with Hiromu as your special ref because he's the little brother for both. And he has to like kind of... I think that'd be a kind of cool little match.
It would be. And we don't get special guest referee opportunities in New Japan very often.
I don't know, just coming up with stuff. All right. So we move on to the first really match that kind of matters more on this show because this is directly leading to the Wrestle Kingdom angle, but I still don't give a shit about this match because it's Evil and Ren Narita. Again, HOT, the rest of House of Torture attack Bolton and Tanahashi on their way out because this match was originally supposed to be ELP's match with Tanahashi, but ELP is now going to be out for the foreseeable future due to his cancer diagnosis and fighting his cancer diagnosis. So all the best to Mr. El Phantasmo. Hope you heal fast, and I know what kind of hell you're going through, sir. I've seen it up close. HOT in control early on. Beating up on Tano for a good bit. Bolton just waiting on the outside. Finally gets that hot tag in. He comes in. He's running all over House of Torture. Double suplexes them when they're trying to suplex in. Gets the kip up. Then picks up Narita into the Bolton Shake. 4 times in that Bolton Shake. And then tosses him across the ring. Then hits a Bolton Bomb out of the corner. But he only gets 2. Narita booting Oleg into the ref. And this is where all the more shenanigans. House of Torture all attacking. Dick. I wrote Dick 3 Dick contact here for some reason. Dick 2 Dick contact to Bolton, but Tana breaks the pin. Tana Dragon Screws Evil, then Togo, then Yujiro. Stops a German from Narita into a twist and shout. Hits a sling blade into a Bolton flying body sausage, but he can only get 2. House Torture distract the ref. Bolton is attacked. Tanahashi is held up top, and Bolton gets rolled up by Narita for the win. Before we get to the other shit, what do you think about the match?
I mean, I'm kind of happy that ELP wasn't involved in this. Because, God damn it. Dude, I would have been 10 times angrier if it was ELP in this instead of Bolton. Because Bolton's big boy. Big boy Bolton. Got a little Brock Lesnar, right? I'm not concerned about him getting beat on a little bit because I know that he's going to take it a lot better. But then on top of that, again, the big boy, he get beat on a little bit easier. I'm happy that we didn't have to see ELP go through that because it would have broken my heart. And this is the first thing that I want to bitch about tonight. I don't want to hear freaking anybody saying Hantai's a thing. As far as I'm concerned, this match proves that there is no Hantai.
Hantai is dead.
There can't be. Like, what the flying fruitcake of a fa-la-la are these people thinking it is okay in this? You got a whole faction of House of Torture just making their presence known. Each and every single one of them was out there. And you want to tell me Tiger Mask didn't find the time to find his way back out there again? You telling me that Yano, who I thought was partnered with Tanahashi, you telling me he can't find his way out to the ring? You telling me that Goto and Yoshihashi didn't think that this was going to happen and made themselves available? Are you still a thing with this faction? I thought Chaos and Hontai were
No,
kind of a
yeah, I was
thing.
gonna say he's chaos, but yeah, still, yeah.
They're still a thing. That's why I mentioned Yoshihashi and Goto, because we've seen them come in for Yano. So why wouldn't they come in for El Presidente, the guy who's paying their bills?
Well, even to chaos, even Ishii, he's over in America right now, doing some stuff at AEW and ROH, and he's being billed as representing the conglomeration. He's not even repping chaos; he's repping conglomeration, which is yeah.
That's just Tony Khan being a little bit of a bitch, though, I think. And not because as far as I'm concerned, because remember, like unofficially the conglomeration was Chaos for a while there, and Chris Statlander was the first female member of Chaos. Whatever happened to that? Did they just kind of say, okay, well, screw you guys, or are they still? Did they just rebrand? Is that there's no continuity? Is what the bottom line is here. And clearly, no one wants a job at New Japan anymore because no one bothered to save the frickin' president. You have one job, guys: protect the money bags.
Yeah.
There was no protection happening. So like for me, I need to see factions starting to be factions again. Like with LIJ, it's a thing for them, a loyalty or honor thing for them, and it's talked about on commentary and talked about with the faction. They publicly say you handle your own shit. These guys are supposed to be the faciest faction in the company, and not one of them wants to go to bat to help you out the apparent most important one in the whole faction, let alone the company. That's a little sus to me. I don't like
Yeah.
that.
So
So
yeah,
I would like to see that happening in the future.
yeah.
Reestablishment of factions.
Or just get rid of Hontai and chaos, create something
That's what I'm
new.
saying. Like reestablish the factions, break it down to make it rise from the ashes as something new.
And then
Fly, Phoenix, fly.
officially break HOT from Bullet Club, and maybe even break up Bullet Club in a way of getting rid of your ancillary people. Let the Rogue Army just be its own thing. Those who are not an actual war dog, you're just on your own now, like a Kenta
Yeah,
and those others who I think Ishimori and Robbie X are. I could see them just being absorbed as war dogs at this
I
point
could
because
also.
he is the muscle chihuahua, and because it's a dog, it is a dog. And
And
then
honestly, I don't see Ishimori fitting anywhere else. He's a
no,
really good heel.
yeah, and X is kind of Robbie's almost like default with him because that's his tag partner now. Like
Yeah, but again,
yeah,
really good heel.
yeah. So
He
post match,
fits in good with the War Dogs.
yeah. I think War Dogs just needs to be its own thing. Drop the Bullet Club moniker. Let Bullet Club die. Just be the War Dogs. Like literally, that name. I think War Dogs means more than Bullet Club at this point. So after the match, House of Torture all gang up on Tana and Bolton. Evil set gets the mic, says you think you really have another year left. Your career ends on January 4th, 2025. I'll finish you at Wrestle Kingdom. He gets scissors. Jado tries to makes the save because he was beaten up on the floor. Um, and then so they drag Tanahashi up and out of the ring to the back with Evil holding the scissors. But there was a press conference. Was it today or yes? Yeah, today. And Tanahashi still has all his hair, so his hair hasn't been cut yet. But I feel like that's kind of maybe a signal that their match is going to be a hair versus hair match,
Oh no.
and let Tanahashi win and make Evil go bald. And then he can wear a
Mm.
wig, do like the Kurt Angle, wear the really bad wig thing.
Ooh. Mm. Eek. Yikes. Um, no. I just, no. I also saw that Tanahashi, Shota, and I think it was Hung all attended the Gladiator premiere, and Tana still had all of his hair after this point also.
Yeah.
Beautiful
Hey,
ringlet.
he still. That's why I feel like they're setting up a hair versus hair match. Bolton tries to
Um,
fight. Oh, go ahead.
but sorry, I just about the hair. I have to I say no because you can look at Evil's hairline right now. No. You remove that hair, oh sweet baby G, you won't be able to. It's hard to take that man seriously right now. No hair, he would be a laughing stock. I'm sorry. Aesthetically speaking, that would be a very, very dumb thing to do. But you also can't take away Tanda's hair. It is synonymous with who he is, unless you want to make his like last year of wrestling not just him enjoying it and winding down his Tana career, but like sitting there having to almost reevaluate and re-identify himself. No, leave the hair alone, please.
Yeah.
No touchy.
So Bolton tries to kamikaze Narita, but he slips out, hits a low blow and a double cross. Oiba then comes out challenging Narita for the TV title, but then Cobb shows up, shoving
Oh,
Oiba out of the way, getting in Narita's face. Narita rolls out. Oiba and Cobb start shoving each other, and we'll talk about this at the end of the show because there was some announcements made today for Wrestle Kingdom. So we'll talk about what's going on with the TV title. Yeah.
Cobb was pissy too, man. Holy shit. Like I've seen him get like angry beforehand, and you can tell like when he like you can tell the difference with him sometimes. I don't know, maybe he's just taken some really good improv classes or something, but like he was really shoving and beating the shit out of a Weewa after this confrontation. Yeah, continue.
Yeah. So we move on from the House of Torture to a match I just don't give a shit about. Two people I just have zero interest in right now, and one of these men is about to ruin my Wrestle Kingdom. I literally timed it. Shota Umino took 3.5 minutes to do his entrance, and Sonata took 2, or just under 2. At least Sonata's was normal-ish. Umino took 3.5 goddamn minutes to walk through a crowd.
Yeah, I was
I
gonna
watched.
say Sonata does tend to drag his feet a little when he's going to the ring. He does milk things a little bit.
I watched this match at 2 times speed because I just didn't care. They fight on the floor. Sonata gets an apron assist magic screw. Sonata takes Umino in the crowd, whips him into the chairs, gets a skull end in the crowd, goes back in. Umino gets in at 18. Umino hits his over the top apron DDT thing that he does with the guy in the ropes. There's a great, nice little backflip off the second turnbuckle by Sonata into the skull end. He's holding it in, then he releases, goes up, hits the rounding body press, goes for dead fall, but gets reversed into a cradle pile driver. Both men are down. They're fighting. A strike. Sonata hits Shining Wizard. Umino hits the Blaze Blade. He picks them up, hits like an Emerald Flosion. But Sonata gets an O'Connor roll for 2. Shining Wizard goes for deadfall again. And then it gets reversed. And then they start reversing each other into. But then Umino hits Death Rider. And mercifully, it was over in 16 minutes and 41 seconds, but it only was 8 minutes and 20 seconds for me because I watched it 2 times speed and I just don't care.
I wish I could add more to that, but like this match, it did struggle to keep my attention. And once it did suddenly get into a speed that I was like, "Ooh, I'm invested," it was suddenly over. It was a sudden finish for me. It was a quick finish. Um, I was actually more interested in the things that transpired after the match, which was Shota Umino extending the hand to Sonata and Sonata denying the handshake and kind of limping his way to the back. And I was reminded of something that I had said, I think it was a Japanese wrestling update on OLE, where I was like, I feel like he would be better off somewhere else. And this was not the Sonata that we were used to seeing. So when I saw him deny the handshake, I immediately was like, red flag. Something's going down.
I went, I don't care. End this shit and go to the back. I want better wrestling. And we did get better wrestling because the match was fine. There was nothing wrong with this match. I just had zero interest. Dude, I'd rather watch Shoma Kato versus Murashima right now than this, because at least those two are working hard to impress, and these two just went out there and just had a match. Like,
Yeah, I think that's why
two
I
and a half
struggled with
stars.
this one. There was a distinct lack of emotion happening, and what emotion was trying to be gotten felt very forced. Like when they were on the outside, I feel like they did that for like to get the crowd kind of, ooh, they're getting thrown into us. Oh no. And it didn't work. The crowd wasn't really into it, and it was very interesting to see the crowd dynamic as it went through this match, because the crowds there are already very quiet. They only kind of clap or react when there's something worth clapping or reacting to. And I've mentioned to you before that this seems to be a problem with Sonata in particular, because we've seen him wrestle in places like the US, the Royal Quest show, where he was wrestling Zack Sabre Jr. to a crowd that did not like him because he was wrestling their hero. He had one of the best matches against Zack Sabre Jr., and I feel it had a lot to do because of the negative reaction of the crowd. It was very interesting. But yeah, I'll mention this again later in the show because it was very interesting the way the dynamic changed again because the crowd was very behind Shota, which is not something that they had been
They were behind
a
Shota
lot.
here in this match. They were behind
Exactly.
Shota.
That's why I said we'll mention it later in the show because yeah, they were behind him for this match, which is weird because the crowd has been so hot on Sonata for so long, but once he became this version of Sonata, it's like the crowd struggles to connect with this version of Sonata.
Oh yeah.
The Skull End and then Cold Skull Sonata was the prime of what he was for how little character work and charisma he needed to portray that character. This character just feels forced. It feels laborious to watch, which is unfortunate because his wrestling fundamentally hasn't changed. It's just the look has. It's interesting how much it impacts the character overall, isn't it?
Yeah. So we
Mhm.
move on to a great match. The
Oh,
IWGP World IWGP Heavyweight Tag Team Championships. It is TMDK's Mikey Nichols and Shane Haste defending against the United Empire's Great Okan and Henare. Yeah, it's hard. It's hard, man. It's hard. It's hard. It's hard to feel here, man. Because I love, like, I'll admit I've been a fan of of Haste and Nichols longer, but I love Khan and Henare. It's so hard here. I have a United Empire banner behind me, but I've been a fan of these guys like Nichols and Haste since their days in Pro Wrestling Noah. Their time in NXT as TM61. Like, this match was conflicting for me.
heartbreaking.
Haste in the ring. When he first gets in the ring and he's got the title on his waist and he starts like humping and making the title jump as he's humping the air. Oh my god. Oh my god.
It was ridiculously funny.
Nichols and Hari start slapping each other before the match, and this is where Chris Charlton brings up their 2023 G1 match where they both got busted open in the match, and it was just from the headbutts.
Unnecessary.
Yeah, Henare hits this hard liver strike to Haste early on in the match, dropping him, then picks him up, slams him, and sentons him. Um, Haste goes for the kick, and Henare headbutts the kick. And Haste is
Yeah.
selling like he broke his freaking leg. He does hit a drop kick to drop Henare, but he was selling it like he broke his shin.
Yeah, it was
Ooh.
so good though. It was
Yeah.
so good because it was so perfectly timed.
Yeah, Mikey gets in, and it's Henare and Mikey just smashing each other. unloading chops and strikes at each other. Mikey gets a Cobra Twist, then gets out and headbutts Henare. But Henare just stands there like nothing's wrong. And you see Mikey's head just start leaking. I'm like, oh my God.
It
And
was
and
unnecessary.
like Mikey's more hurt off his head, but he does recover, catching Henare with a spinebuster and that sliding lariat.
Mm-hmm.
They go back and forth, lots of power. Hinari tries to get an ultimate at one point. Haste throwing up is in at one point, throwing uppercuts to Khan, but Khan catches one, snaps the arm. He tosses him in the corner, goes to sit on his head, but Haste slips out, scores a beautiful uppercut. He goes to try to superplex Khan off the top, but Khan shoves him off. But Nichols comes in, attacking him, pops Haste up onto his shoulders, and they hit the Olivia Newton bomb. Nichols has to drag Haste over to put him on top of Khan for the pin for 2. It was actually a really great spot.
Mm-hmm.
Lots of double teaming from TMDK. They hit a tank buster, but Henare ends up breaking up the pin with a flying headbutt. Like he headbutted to
Yeah,
break up.
he just kind of flew into the frame. It
Mm-hmm.
was hilarious, actually.
Yeah, Khan's fighting to take out Henare. Khan fights back with Mongolians, gets a claw on both of them, trying to go for a double eliminator, but they end up getting him up, hit the power bottom, but they only get 2. So TMDK set up for a super tank buster, but Haste gets knocked off the top of the floor, and the Yui hit the Imperial Drop, which is the flapjack cutter combo. And we have new IWGP Heavyweight Tag Team Champions. I'm pretty sure I said this on the last show that we probably have new champions, which makes me sad, but makes me happy. So I'm very conflicted here.
So I feel like this is a good news, bad news scenario. I feel like this good news means that we're gonna get some really amazing shit out of TMDK in World Tag League. And that also means that they're going to be holding those New Japan Strong titles. And they're going to be coming over to the US more, which
Friday.
increases the likelihood of us being able to see them. Just saying. Um, I stand by what I said though on Japanese Wrestling Update about this. I don't think this was the right combination of Empire to give it to. I don't feel that Okan and Henare have necessarily proven as a tag team that they are champion worthy. Independently, absolutely. We have Henare, a former never open weight champion, and man, was he a dominant champion. And we have Okan, the current AOPW champion. Now a double champion. Is there another double champion in the company, or is he the only multi-belt holder?
Yeah, only multi belt holder, I think. Unless
So,
you want to consider Kevin Knight carrying both his IWGP title plus the old War Dogs title. He's got 2 belts there, but
which is a conversation that we will be having after we discuss the next match. Um, yeah, I don't know how to feel about this one because again, like I felt that TMDK worked so damn hard over the last couple of years. I was so happy to see them rewarded as double champions. I don't feel this is a punishment by any means, but it does feel like a a quick bit of a quick loss for this one. I would have liked to see them at least hold the titles until Wrestle Kingdom, because I kind of wanted to see them in that kind of scenario. Because I feel they've earned that. They've worked very very hard for this company. I felt that they earned that. Um, the World Tag League is an opportunity for them to earn it back though, and potentially be in that situation anyway. So here's hoping.
well, that's what
Um,
my literally what I wrote is hoping that TMDK win the tournament this year, and they're the ones getting the shot at Wrestle Kingdom, and possibly we get a very golden outlook for TMDK at Wrestle Kingdom, and everybody's holding gold.
Sure. And then that's all well and good. The next thing that I wanted to kind of loop back to though is if I'm United Empire, I'm now kind of looking back at the faction and going, is TJP the most credible leader?
Henare is our leader. Henare is our leader.
Henare, no. You have the only double champion in the company in your faction. And he's not considered your leader?
But the one title, he's about to lose. He's losing that in 2 weeks to Suzuki. So it really doesn't matter. He's not going to be double champion for long.
Even when he loses it, he's still got more gold than the current leader.
I know. So I'm saying. But I'm saying Henare also had a never title run this year. So that's why I said Henare is our leader. Henare is our leader. Henare is our leader.
Currently have it, and arguably hasn't. Oh no! Wait, let me finish. Okan has also held never openweight championship. So
has he?
Pretty sure he has.
I think so.
Check it. Regardless, I feel that Okan has held more titles than Henare has in this company. Could be wrong with that though.
Because Khan has a tag title, so is Henare. Henare said never titles. Nope, KOPW and tag team. That's it.
Yep. Mm-hmm. Interesting.
And technically, he's had the same amount of title runs. So
okay. Yeah. Still, though, I'm looking at United Empire going.
Henare is our leader.
No, my guy, you need to get off of that horse. That horse is going to roll you down a hill.
Cobb is our leader. Cobb is our leader.
I didn't want to be the one to say it, but I feel like Cobb would actually probably be the more credible leader. I love TJP. I love him so much. He's such a talented wrestler. He's got such a talented gimmick. Like the gimmick is so cool. He's got such a good story. He's so creative. I have never seen the guy have a bad match. He always wrestles with the greatest intentions for himself and for his opponent. If the opponent cannot live up to that expectation, then we have had some questionable things out of him, but he still puts 110,000% into everything. That being said, though, Jeff Cobb has been putting out banger after banger of promos. Jeff Cobb has been a dominant champion and the TV champion for quite some time. And now look at him coming out and aggressively saying, I want this title, and forcibly trying to take it. He's doing those leadership things. I'm looking at United Empire right now saying that opposite of what I was saying about them last year at this time. Because last year at this time, there was no other faction more united than United Empire. Now, I would say they're only slightly more organized above Hontai. I'm concerned. I'm interested to see where they take the story though, because there are so many angles that they could take it that would actually work out very well for them and make a very interesting and fun story, especially to set up for Tokyo Dome. But I'm also scared because I don't want to lose any more factions. We need to have, again, as I said earlier, a reestablishment of the factions. Please.
Yeah. I agree. I look at this, as much as I love TMDK, House of Torture is the most united faction in this company, which is weird.
I would say it'd be a toss-up, depending on the day and who's involved. House of Torture or Bullet Club. Just Bullet Club in general.
I still
Bullet
say
Club
House
in
of
general
Torture.
Seems to be, yeah, but War Dogs are pretty good about having each other's backs too.
Yeah, but I'm just saying House of Torture always has each other's backs. There's never not a match where more guys are not there. So that's why I say House of Torture just outranks everybody by just a little.
It's unfortunate to say, isn't it? It hurts our hearts.
Kenny Omega arrives. in Osaka Edion, and he looking a little pale, looking a little heavy here. He's not
Yeah,
quite in
he was a
ring
little
shape
sick.
yet. He does say he says some stuff in Japanese. He says he wants to return on January 5th. He wants to face a brand new star. He says he wants to make his return representing AEW, but wants to make his return in a New Japan ring. Um, he says it's the best place in the world. It's still his home, and Japan is still his home. What about Canada, Kenny? What about Canada? This is your real home.
Come on now, look at Don Callis. We know that our loyalty here is clearly fleeting.
Hey, he showed up at Maple Leaf Pro. Um, then he does the I must bid you adieu, goodbye, and good night. Bang.
Mm.
So nothing truly impactful for Ken Omega yet. Although he did do an interview earlier on in the day or the day before and took a shot at one kid named Gabe, who he said that angry fellow, he called him. Couldn't remember his name. He called him that angry fellow. We'll talk more about that in a few minutes.
I mean, to be honest, that was the most interesting thing about that to me. I was
Yeah.
actually expecting him to get jumped because of that, but I'm going to guess, given his sickly appearance, that was probably not going to happen. Well, there.
Yeah. There
Um,
wasn't much to this.
no, I actually took a bathroom break at this point.
I watched it on 2 times speed because it's just like I didn't need to. I
Yeah,
understood everything I wrote down and what I need to write down. So we move on.
yeah.
The real main event of the show is the finals of the Super Junior Tag League 2024. It is Catch 2 the Nova Fireball Francesco Akira and the Oswang TJP with his Oswang guitar, along with
Yes.
Jacob Awesome Young versus the Ichiban Sweet Boys representing TMDK, the Japanese young punk Kosei Fujita, and the Sniper of the Skies, Robbie Eagles, with Ryohei Oiwa. So they each had
Mhm,
thirds in this.
mhm,
Oswang has his rocks. He's the Oswang rock star tonight. He's got his
mhm.
Oswang guitar. Loved it, and he's now wearing shorts instead of the long pants. I like the look change.
Yeah, I also liked it when I saw it. I was like, this is classic TJP. I got nostalgic. I was taken back to the like, sadly, maybe sadly, I don't know. I thought it was a good time. I was taken back to like the 205 Live kind of TJP.
Hmm.
I was just like
Yeah.
happy.
Um, he looks freaking jacked here.
Yeah.
We're
All these guys
thankful.
look great.
It's thankful that it's a combo weight of the team and not
Mhm,
individual weights here in the tag team division, in the junior tag division. That the
mhm.
teammates have to weigh into a combo, so Akira can drop weight as CJP gains weight, I guess. If you find somebody small enough, Great Khan could technically enter this tournament if you find somebody small enough. Maybe bring like Hornswoggle into the UE next year, and you could have Great Khan and Hornswoggle in the tag league in the Super Junior tag. That'd be pretty funny.
What? Or
He's
you can try
green.
to
He's
convince him to
green.
let
It
Maki
works.
Ito. Try to
He's
convince him
green.
to let Maki Ito in there.
He's green. It works. Like, he's a little green
Or
dude, so it
Saya
works.
Ida. Saya
Nah,
Ida.
she's
There you go.
nah, she's too jacked. She's too jacked.
But she's little.
Yeah, but she's jacked, so she's dense. That's why you can't knock her over. That's why you can't knock her over easily, because she's dense as hell.
Sure, sure.
This match, I'm not going to go through a lot here. You need to witness this match. These
Mhm,
guys did everything here. It just, everything looks so good. Um, TJP gets that Muda leg lock on Fujita, gets a Cobra twist on Eagles at the same time. Then lets Eagles go, launches Akira into him, then gets a Muda lock into a Muda style like calf slicer, and then to the bow and arrow. Just looks so good, man.
mhm.
Fujita is just his fire ups in here when he fired back from that face wash spot and he catches that huge leg lariat, dude. He's crazy. Eagle smacking that just sick meaty aura in the corner, it was like a crack sound into the corner. It looked just gross. Yeah, dude. Match is crazy. Akira hitting out Poison Rana to Eagles at one. The Eagle at one point just looked like they murdered him, and then they get Fujita up and hits a power bomb. Just just everything everything just moves so fast and so furious throughout this match, man. Just looking through all the spots. Fujita gets that pop-up German to TJP for 2, and then goes for Abandon Hope, but TJP reverses and hits a Falcon Arrow driver for 2. Like, just insanity, man. So one of my favorite spots in this match was when the move that the Ichiban Sweet Boys have adopted, and they busted it out here. They hit their Sweet Buster.
Oh,
their variation on the Tank Buster. It's the Tank Buster, but instead of like Robbie gets the opponent up on his shoulder, same as Nichols, but Fujita instead of going for the DDT goes for the cutter, and it's their Sweet Buster. Oh, I love the Sweet Buster so much. We did see a leaning We did see a leaning tower to Eagles here, but Fujita breaks that pin up. Fujita gets tossed out. UE misses that knee. They go, and then TMDK go for that Sweet Buster again, but Akira kicks TJ. Then Akira kicks TJP, and they're trading pins. Akira gets tossed out of the ring. TJP gets hit with a kick. TJP reverses the turbo backpack into a pin for 2. Then Eagles flips him over. Itabashi style pin. I don't know what his version of it. 1, 2, and I almost thought it was a mistake. 3, because just the way TJP kicked out right after. Perfection. TMDK wins the Super Junior Tag League in what was an amazing match. Like these, if you're going to watch any match on this show, watch the real main event of this show in the Super Junior Tag League. As much as I love the main event, this was the best match on this show by far, in my opinion.
I mean, I liked the semi-main just a little bit more than the main, but yes, I couldn't even write anything down. This match was so fast, so good, but the way these 4 men just all flowed so effortlessly and just quickly together. Like once the speed started going, it was just go, 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 go. They did not stop. There were no breathers. It was just into the next thing, into the next. It was so great. The last 5 minutes of this match, though, oh my God. With the near pinfalls, the reversals, like it would be like 1, 2, this match as a wrestling fan was emotionally exhausting.
Emotional damage.
Yeah, like no, it was not damaging. That would insinuate it was bad. No,
There
was
was emotional
great.
damage because as they hit each other, it broke my heart every time the team would hit each other because I'm such a big fan of both teams. It was literally so much emotional damage here. Same with the last match.
Calm down over there, Kimosabe. But yeah, the last 5 minutes of this match were just emotionally exhausting for me, just because it's just on the edge of my seat entertainment. Like, just hats off to all 4 of these guys. Fracking insane. But at some point in time, I will need to have Fujita and Akira one-on-one. Because holy frickety frack frick frukin. I think that would be that's a golden nugget that they're sitting on that they haven't banked upon yet.
Honestly, in 3 years' time, that could be your Wrestle Kingdom Junior Heavyweight title match.
Oh, fuck yeah.
Yeah.
Hell yeah. Oh, take us into what happened afterwards, though, because that's another thing I need to comment on.
So Chris Charlton does make a comment that Gabe Kidd has attacked Kenny Omega in the back, and they said they don't really have any updates and they don't even get anything. So TMDK get their trophies. They end up shaking hands with United Empire. They do the speeches. Fujita says the TMDK era really has arrived. And then he makes the official challenge to Intergalactic Jet Setters for the championships at Wrestle Kingdom, and calls them out. So the Jet Setters come out. They say they accept, but he said where's Catch 2-2? So 2-2 roll back in, and he goes, they beat us. And he says, and then they just say, we'll see you at Wrestle Kingdom, and you're like, what the fuck is going on? And then the War Dogs attack, and they lay everybody out with chairs. Julia says they chewed up and spit out every junior tag team in the division. There ain't no party like a War Dog party, and it ain't Wrestle Kingdom without the War Dogs. Yeah. So I wrote this note before I heard other things. I think they're going to go back to doing the 4-way junior title match that they used to do with Kushida and the Young Bucks and Red Dragon and whichever other team would be a part of it. That was the staple. It was the first match on the main card. It was a staple. But I'm fine with that if it happens. Mm-hmm. But why the fuck did we sit through a week and a half of Super Junior Tag League to set up a 4-way? What the fuck did we? So I essentially just wasted my time for the last week and a half watching all these tag matches, while most of them very good. Mm-hmm. What did this accomplish? Yes, Eagles and Fujita got the trophy, but it doesn't really matter. None of it matters.
I see why you're mad about that. Yeah. I didn't know about the 4-way.
Oh, we'll talk about
because I'm well, like, I didn't know about the past ones is what I meant.
Oh yeah, Wrestle Kingdom was always about a 4-way.
So, like, in my opinion, I think that's brilliant. But when you put it that way, yeah, Super Junior Tag League, if the point is to have the team being able to face champions at Wrestle Kingdom, it kind of does make their victory redundant, especially if they don't win. That being said, and this is something I've been waiting to say for a bit, and I've said it to you privately a few times, was carrying around the War Dog straps maybe the wrong idea on Kevin Knight's part? Because if I like, I've worked with dogs. Now, I worked in a training facility. I've worked with aggressive dogs. You dangle a bone in the fucker's face. Do not be surprised that he bites you. You have been carrying around the War Dog straps unintentionally or intentionally. I don't know what your motives are behind that, Mr. Knight. But you have been dangling bones in the War Dog's faces. I am not surprised that y'all got bit. And I'm honest, what I am surprised about is that you didn't get bit harder. That was all you got out of that situation. But that being said, if the 4-way is what we are going to get at Wrestle Kingdom, that means we have now 2 months of very angry War Dogs. Is Kevin Knight going to make the decision to continue taking around those straps, pissing those guys off more? And what could that actually mean that they are keeping the straps around? Is that a foreboding omen to actually say that those are going to become the straps again? Because if I'm in charge and I'm not planning on giving those belts back to those guys anytime soon, I'm going to be like, just put them in the closet until we're ready for them. Bring them back out again.
I agree.
The fact that they haven't gone away yet is very ominous. Wouldn't you agree?
A little bit. So to the point of the four-ways, Wrestle Kingdom 8 in 2014, which was not the first Wrestle Kingdom I watched. No, it wasn't. Young Bucks versus the Forever Cooligans versus Suzuki Gun, Taichi and Taka Michinoku versus Time Splitters. Wrestle Kingdom 9, the first Wrestle Kingdom I watched live ever. Red Dragon versus Forever Hooligans versus Time Splitters versus the Young Bucks. Wrestle Kingdom 10 was the Young Bucks versus
This is
Red
gonna get
Dragon
expensive.
versus Seidel and Ricochet versus Roppongi Vice. Again, 3 straight years of that, and it feels like that's what they're going back to.
Well, if that's the case,
Again,
they might have to consider rearranging the tag league or maybe trying to figure out a different scenario for the winner of the tag league. But like four-way tag team match for the titles is something that I'm always here for. But if it's at the expense of somebody else's win that they won on their own, I'm not really for that. With that
yeah,
being said, this is the opportunity to have the four best tag teams in New Japan, period. Aside from TMDK, the bigger TMDK, the big boys, the big TMDK, the supersize TMDK. um, it's the four main teams that are the most credible teams that New Japan has. You couldn't ask for a better match.
I always thought the supersized members of TMDK are Hartley Jackson and Bad Dude Tito. I thought those were the supersized members.
I mean, I haven't seen them tag yet though. So
No, they
like
haven't
they
never
could
tagged,
be.
but they're the supersized members of the team because there's regular, there's small, then there's supersized.
But like calling Nichols and Haste regular kind of sounds like
Yeah,
belittling and condescending.
a little bit, but they're okay. Normal size, whatever. Medium size, whatever.
Moving on. Moving
Yeah,
on.
so,
Oh,
yeah.
there
There
they
they
are.
got their belts, and then the War Dogs cutting that promo afterwards.
Whew.
Drillo looking pretty cool, and Connors looking jacked as shit.
Oh
So,
God, I mean, both of them are. I
well, Connors
really,
here.
really liked Drillo's pants though, with the red accent. Very, very cool.
I'll say this: Connors looked far more cut than Drilla did tonight. I thought Connors looked insanely cut tonight. Like,
Which is
yeah,
interesting considering how pale he is.
yeah. We move on. Semi main event of the evening. Semi main event. IWGP Junior Heavyweight Title match. It is Douki defending against Master Wato. No black hair. Black gear with blue accents now, which is far better than the just straight up blue. Wato's first
His
singles. Oh,
his intro jacket reminded me of Yuna Mizumori
so
with the
sparkly,
shiny dangly bits.
so
Yeah, I
sparkly.
loved it.
First singles match of 2024. They did show a highlight video of his time in recovery, and Chris Charlton said there will be a documentary about Wato coming out on the YouTube with English with dubbed in English very soon. So
Hey, cool, cool, cool. Look forward to it.
yeah, this match was really good. Like these two having like reversing each other early on, just kind of Wato really trying to find a way through Doki's move set here. Like it looked really like these two I thought worked super good together
Mhm.
early on. Doki getting a head scissor submission, then gets an armbar added in, but Wato getting to the ropes. Doki goes over the top into the ring with an arm dragging Wato, sending him out. Then hits a baseball slide. Doki then to the top. Wato ends up pulling him to the apron for the German, but he fights it. But he gets hit with a kick, but Doki manages to hit a DDT onto the apron. Doki goes back to the top, hits a Doki bomb, which is a senton to Wato on the floor, looking like he almost crashed in the barricade very awkwardly. Um,
Yeah.
yeah, these two just look great. There's a spot where Doki went for daybreak, but Wato catches him and turns it into a tombstone, a tens on tombstone driver. Oh,
So
TTD.
good.
So
Yeah.
good.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's a head scissors into Recitamente by Master Wato for 2. These two just going back and forth. So good. Such good stuff here. Wato getting a new move where he gets Douki up into a torture rack. A torture rack Samoan and then into the Samoan drop. But he can and then hits this hard kick, but he only gets 2. He hits the high angle German, only 2. The end of this match comes. Recitamente gets reversed into a Doki Choki. He reapplies it a couple times, re-rolling them to center, but Wato ends up reversing out at one point, and he goes, Doki gets him in and hits a DDT, and then hooks him right back into the Doki Choki, and Wato passes out. And Doki retains the championship. Post-match, though, El Desperado did make his return, and he does challenge Doki for Wrestle Kingdom. And then he turns to Hiromu Takahashi and says, and then, how does it feel to be left out? He makes a comment saying, how does it feel to be left out? And then I'll deal with you afterwards.
Everyone gunning for Hiromu.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone gunning for Hiromu, because we'll mention that in the next match as well. What to add? Okay,
Really?
so
Oh, yeah. I know what you're talking about.
yeah.
Took
Oh
me a
yeah,
second.
Doki usually comes out with a very particular kind of scowl on his face. He's definitely got like the angry face kind of going on. He didn't come out like that. Very stoic in this match, very calm, made his way to the ring a little slower than usual. I would say taking a Sonata-esque entrance, taking the slow walk, walking around the ring, pacing himself, really taking it in. And I loved it. It really set a very important tone and for the struggle that was happening between these two guys. Because man, was Wato working so hard. You could tell he was just giving this like, I have to updo you. I have to outdo you. I have to upsell you. I have to do this. And Doki was almost acting like that there was times where he was just the defiant champion. No, you're not getting my title. But then there was moments like when he was in Vagabond where he was scrambling, just struggling to get to the ropes, and you could see the worry just on his face, even though most of it is covered. You could see the intensity, the worry in his eyes of the scramble trying to survive the onslaught of Master Wato in this. I loved seeing all the Doki Chokies. I loved hearing Gino Gambino on commentary again. It's just a nice little dear to my heart.
The Italian stretch 32.
It's the Doki Choki, Kevin. There was the dragon suplex, that just quick dragon suplex that Doki was able to just grab while Wato was coming in to do something else. It was just so crisp, so good. And like the reversals of these guys, you can really see that lucha-esque style in both of these guys come out so effortlessly together. It was the perfect Japanese strong style lucha combination match. Um, yeah, the end there when Desperado came out, first of all, love Desperado for coming out in a headbanger ELP t-shirt.
Mm-hmm.
That just made my heart so happy. But then also, Doki let his hair down at the end of the match. Don't know if you noticed. Had his hair out of his ponytail, looked really, really nice. That shampoo endorsement doing very well for him. Yeah, this was a great match. Really, really great match. Really, really great way to start feeding into the end of this show because the last two matches, goddamn.
We'll see how much longer they have that shampoo endorsement. We'll talk about that in a few minutes here.
Yeah.
Yeah, so El Desperado
Yeah.
making the challenge there. So, semi-main event of the evening, it is Taichi challenging David Finlay for the IWGP Global Heavyweight Championship. Taichi with the new white jacket on, looking pretty damn dapper. I was listening to another show. They were talking about that supposedly is a Genshin Impact cosplay, or not
I
cosplay,
thought
but
it looked
inspiration.
familiar. Yeah.
Never played it. I have no idea what Genshin Impact. I know it's a video game. Never played it. So,
I
yeah.
feel like it was an anime that I was watching at one point.
No, this is a video game called that Taichi regularly streams. Called Genshin Impact. Yeah, and it's
But I
supposedly a
feel like
tribute to that.
Genshin is something like there's an anime that has that,
Yeah, but to
that
what
has
he's
very
doing,
similar looking characters, like very
no, but
robotic.
it's very possible. What they were saying is this is a
Because I
tribute
feel
to
like
one of the
Genshin is like
characters.
another Voltron. You remember Voltron?
I have no idea. Again, all I know is he's cosplaying a video game here. That's all I know. He's cosplaying a video game.
Take us in the
Last year,
match.
this time, Finlay destroyed the U.S. and U.K. title, leading to the creation of his Global Heavyweight Championship.
He did, yes.
Yeah.
He did.
These two had a pretty darn good match. I'd probably say third best match on this show. Um, Finlay and Taichi Finlay takes Taichi out of the ring, running him repeatedly in the barricade. This is where he's getting in Hiromu's face and just
Mhm.
constantly yelling at him as he's whipping him into the barricade. He ends up hitting a backdrop onto the apron. Yeah. Um, Finlay
Oh,
Finley's on the attack in the ring, but Taichi catches him and dangerous backdrops him over the top rope to the floor. I was like,
yeah.
oh, this is where he starts running him into the barricade on the floor. And he takes over in the ring. He's hitting kicks and strikes, reverses the backbreaker and sends Taguri. He takes the pants off, goes for the thrust kick, but Finley scores a Northern Irish curse backbreaker. Um, yeah, they fight out to the apron. Finley hitting headbutts. The pile driver gets stopped. Finley escapes a backdrop and gets behind Taichi, runs him into the post. He then whips Taichi into the post on the floor. Back in the ring, he gets a Dominator. Gato calls for 700 power bombs, according to Chris Charlton. But Taichi reverses with a Rana and hits a dangerous backdrop. They're trading shots. Taichi and Zaguri in the Axe Bomber. He follows up with a bridging dangerous backdrop, but again, only gets two. They're fighting more. Finley hits a Black Mephisto at one point. Uh, Overkill gets reversed into Gato Clutch. And then Sonata makes his way down the ring in his tracksuit. And I'm like, in his just fucking tracksuit. I'm like, this is a weird time to be coming down.
We've
Okay.
also seen Naito do that before too during Hiromu's matches as like a little rib to him. So like initially I didn't think anything of it. I just kind of thought that just arriving late. Better late than never.
I was like, oh, so, wow, just five guys actually supporting each other for once. Okay, good for them.
Well,
Um,
Taco's already down there too.
yeah, but he's there to play spoiler to Kato. That's all he's there for. Like he's not actually support. Like,
Yeah,
he's playing support as the second, but usually these guys don't usually come out for each other on the reg.
that's true. That's true.
So roll up by Finley. They start striking each other. Finley gets a buckle bomb, but Taichi comes back to the thrust kick, hits Black Mephisto, and we have a new champion. But the ref is pulled out. Taichi can't thinks it's Gato, but it's actually Sonata that pulled the ref out, and Taichi sees him, and he unzips the coat and he's wearing a War Dog shirt, distracting Taichi, and Finley gets the shillelagh, cracks Taichi over the head, picks him up, overkill. And Dave Finley retains the Global Championship. So Sonata comes in, he takes out Ataka, and like Taichi's like grabbing on to Sonata. Sonata picks him up, hits deadfall. Douki runs out, and he jumps up on the apron, but Sonata goes at him, so Douki jumps back, like saying, "No, I'm not going to fight you." And it gets over, and they drag Taichi out of the ring, and damn, get a new War Dog. I guess we found Jake Lee's replacement.
That was immediately my thought too. I was like, well, looks like Gabe Kidd is back in World Tag League. Because could you imagine, especially like we know the savagery, the savage level that War Dogs can unlock in absolutely everybody that they team with? What are they going to unlock in Sonata? Calm down. Hold on. I'm not done. Calm down. Yeah. So to quickly also scoot back to what you mentioned when Douki came down and Sonata ran him off. The absolute aggressive and just vindictive nature that Sonata went after Douki, sorry, in that moment, I was like, ooh, this is a legit turn. Ooh, I'm liking this. Because, yeah, he had every intention of connecting with Douki if he did. 110%. What are you so excited to say? Get it out.
Well, I'm going to hold that, but I think the attack for Douki was more jealousy because Doki's been in a higher profile position than him.
Well, I was also just gonna say, and like, how degrading must it be for Sonata getting showed up by, of all people, Shota Umino, um, on a very pretty importante night, and he just spent the last probably couple minutes celebrating with Doki in the back as the only legit champion that Just Five Guys has. Um, yeah. It probably was a very confusing dynamic for them. Um, real quick, I wanted to mention, okay, for the match overall, um, Finlay, I thought, did something really stupid at the end, at the beginning of the match, where he kind of unlocked Taichi's beast mode. And we have seen Taichi's beast mode. When he goes into beast mode, oh, that savagery comes out. And we saw that with that no selling when Finlay is just rattling him. And you could see Finlay was hitting him hard with those forearms. He was full pullback, full go through. If Taichi was having none of it. And then he drops Finlay with that one tough forearm. I was like, why did you do that? You know that you can like lose the match so quickly. But then I kind of reevaluated it and I was like, that was actually smart because you unlock the beast mode quickly. It exhausts Taichi. Taichi excels in these long, long matches where he is himself for most of the match and then unlocks beast mode at the end of the match. Unlocking beast mode at the beginning of the match enabled David Finlay to constantly have that one up on Taichi once he exhausted himself. And we saw that throughout the entire match, especially once Sonata got involved in that dissolving kind of happened there. Where was that one spot? There was one spot that I thought was absolutely hilarious. Hold on. There was one point where where Finlay covered Taichi and he didn't quite get a full pin on him. His feet were planked up in the air, so his like he was just kind of sitting there like on top of Taichi, but his feet were just like at a 45-degree angle, and Taichi was able to kick out of it easily. Did you hear what David Finlay said?
No.
He's like, "Oh no, I get it. That was a shitty pin. That's on me. That's my bad." I was like, "What? What? Who are you talking to?" Even I think he was talking to Gato at that point, but it was really funny, the banter that Finlay was kind of having, because man, he's been really sassy as of late in the ring, and I love it. It makes for so much good entertainment. Um, there were kicks by Taichi that were particularly nasty. That launch into the turnbuckle, or sorry, the post that Finlay did to the shoulder of Taichi, that was really super brutal. Um, the turn of Sonata is something that I wanted to revisit real quick because I called it kinda, didn't I? I
Sure.
told you. Remember there was on Japanese Wrestling Update a few weeks ago, I was like, Royal Quest, Sonata really did seem to excel at the booing of the crowd, and look what he's doing. He's listening for it. He cannot help himself. He needs the crowd. And this character, the before this one, before War Dog Sonata, the Just Five Guys Sonata, he was not connecting with the crowd. He was not connecting with the crowd in the same way that Cold Skull Sonata did. This Sonata, though, look at how he was reacting to those boos. He became alive again. It's like we've been watching Zombie Sonata for the last year in Just Five Guys, and we're finally seeing the true Sonata, what Sonata needs to be coming out in a Bullet Club faction. Now, I said that he would probably do well joining House of Torture and realigning with his former partner Evil. But let's be honest, I think this is the better choice because this is going to get Sonata International. This is going to get him better opportunities. This is going to get him heard a lot more because you don't see Just Five Guys overseas in the same way that you see Bullet Club War Dogs. I feel this is going to really give Sonata that push for his career that he has desperately been looking for. And I'm actually very excited about this.
I'm not. I think Sonata is going to flounder just as bad as he did in Just Five Guys, and he's going to end up just another job guy he's going to be the bottom rung person in this team, and he's going to leave
He
the
can't
team
hang lower than the little dick.
and he's gonna he'll be just above the little dick as one of the pubes coming out above the little dick.
Come on now,
I
we
don't
both know that's Yujiro.
I still don't care. I still don't care about Sonata. I still don't care. I didn't care about him when he was in LAJ. I didn't care about him in Just Five Guys, and I don't care about him in the War Dust because as soon as Jake Lee shows up back up, Sonata gets pushed to the back behind Jake Lee because Jake Lee is more charismatic, better wrestler, better everything in general, and he's going to be the fresher of the two, and he's going to get more focus. So in the end, Sonata is going in about 6 months' time, will be right back where he was with Just Five Guys as just another guy in the team, and nobody's going to care that he's on War Dogs, and the War Dogs just keep expanding, and it's the NWO. We're going to stop caring very soon because Jesus Christ, there's too many War Dogs. There's too many Bullet Club members for one. There's too many War Dogs.
We're going to have a conversation a bit more in depth about this on another episode, but we're already in an hour and a half, and if we go too much longer, I might strangle you with your headphone cord. So let's get into what Finlay announced.
Yeah, so Finlay says he didn't cry or bitch or complain. He put together the most savage brotherhood in the company's ever seen. He says, you remember I was too scared to meet him today. Finlay calls out Tsuji for having beat him twice because he beat him in the block match and in the block finals match this year. And he said, don't keep me waiting, bitch. Tsuji makes So Tsuji makes some ways out. Yeah, Tsuji makes his way out. Finlay continues to call him a bitch. Finlay challenges him for the global title at Wrestle Kingdom. Tsuji says, you didn't run away. You lost to me twice in G1. I accept. Are you ready for me? And this is where they kind of go nose to nose, get face to face.
It wasn't even just the bitch. He's the things he was saying to poor Tsuji. Hurry up, you fatty. Hurry up, you fat bitch. Let's go. Don't keep me waiting. I was like, dude, tranquilo your shit. But man, was it funny. I find it funny. I like this brash, loudmouth David Finlay, and I am very excited to see Tsuji in this situation. All he had to do was wait and win. And now here we are. I'm excited.
Yeah. We move on to the main event of the evening. It is the IWGP World Heavyweight Championship. It is Zack Sabre Jr. with Hartley Jackson and Ryohei Oiwa defending against Shingo Takagi with nobody in his corner because LAJ does not care about each other. Again, good back and forth technical wrestling from. And I'm kidding. Alleged cares. They're just all like, "Do it on your own. We don't need to help you." So really, that's not caring. Um, Good back and forth technical to start. They're both going back and forth the moves, working submissions early. Takagi starts hitting strikes in the midsection. They fall. They go to Takagi goes to the floor off of a heat seeker, which Zach gets caught, catches him on the rope and jumps up and spikes him into the mat there with
Mhm.
that heat seeker pile driver. Um, Sabre and him going back and forth. Uh, Sabre catches a sliding lariat at one point in the ring from Takagi. This is where he goes to work on the arm, starts like working it over, and he ends up tied with submissions, and he picks it up and he ties it up and stomps it. Then he stomps it again. A lot of good back and forth here. Sabre working his submissions, trying to work down the arm and eventually legs of Shingo Takagi throughout the match. Takagi gets a beautiful lariat and a tiger suplex, then another suplex. He hits goes for made in Japan, but it gets reversed. Sabre gets him on the mat with a head scissors. He goes into the triangle, but Takagi lifts him up out of the triangle onto the shoulders, climbs up to the second rope. Sabre tries to fight off, but Takagi hits a Death Valley driver off the top into the ring. I can't remember what they call it. It's an old move of his from we used to come off the second rope of second turnbuckle when he was in Dragon Gate. I can't remember what it was called. Throughout the match, Takagi's going for his choke, which is how he beat Zack Sabre Jr. back in 2009 in WXW in Germany. Again, both are going back and forth. Last of the Dragons reversed into the Euro Clutch at one point, but Takagi reverses that into the body scissors. But Sabre reverses out stomping, gets both knees and stomps them into the mat. Again, these two are just killing it here. Sabre does get a Zack driver 1 point, but can't capitalize for the pin. Zack driver gets reversed into a twist and shout. Just everything they're doing here. Takagi gets the Zack Sabre Jr. elbows to the neck. Brian Danielson elbows to the neck. And then it gets with the body scissor, and then gets the choke on. Sabre's fading, but he does eventually get to the ropes. Just such good stuff here with these two. The reversals, the technical, everything was just so good. The end of this match comes huge pumping bomber by Shingo Takagi, but Sabre reverses Last of the Dragon into a German, hits the PK, only gets two. They trade lariats. Sabre ends up drop kicking out the knee, picks him up, cross-legged Sabre driver, as they called it. They called this one a Sabre driver because he had the legs tied up instead of just the cradle. He tied the legs up. Sabre driver for the win. God, this was good. Man, these two never don't deliver together.
Oh gosh, yeah. This is one of those legitimate fight forever kind of matches. Takagi just has this incredible ability. We've seen it with multiple people throughout his career. It doesn't matter how many times he faces them, he is just capable of being able to come up with these crazy, unique, one of a kind matches every single fracking time. And to me, that's just like that's the toppest of tiers for a professional wrestler that you want to have. But then to pair him with someone as incredible as the wizard, the magician, the technician, whatever else we can call him, Zack Sabre Jr., it's so good. I really liked so Zack, I don't feel that he has a limited move set because his submission ability is just like an endless rollout list that could roll down my first flight of stairs there, out my front door, and probably down to the road. But I feel like other than that, his stuff can be pretty limited. What I liked is how he was able to take that limitation and still turn it into something fun and unique every time. because every time he fed into a move, it was exciting and it was coming out of something else. So like the neck twists that he was doing a lot of in this match, they didn't become repetitive or redundant to me or boring because he was feeding into them in a very unique and different way than what he did the time before, the time before, and the time before. Same with that arm stomp that you were mentioning that Shayna Baszler does quite a bit. He fed into it in a couple different ways, so it didn't become repetitive or overdone. It wasn't like a thrust kick situation where it became a super kick, super kick, super kick, super kick party. He didn't have to do that. It was fun. It was unique. It was diverse. It was variety. It was perfection. This was a great match. I've really had a lot of fun with this. And it was the perfect way to kind of cap off the show.
Yeah, and Sabre did say he's never beaten Takagi uh, by anything other than submission. So he wanted to finish this with the impact move, which is why he busted
Mhm.
a Sabre driver. And if you watch Sabre, he's slowly adding more striking different moves into his game. So like
Yeah.
he is evolving it. He's not quite there yet, but he is evolving in there. As he bulks up a little more and more, he's adding in the strike game.
Mhm. And he honestly doesn't need to move very quickly on it. Like the
No.
slow build for it is very, very good for him and it keeps us guessing. And it's not like some people who pop off every fracking thing in their list of arsenal that they have in one match. Every single match they do. I like that slow build. I like that slow introduction. It gives us something exciting to look forward to going forward in the matches.
You mean like that guy, Shota Umino, who hits everything he
That
has
is
and
a
ever.
terrible picture.
Yeah, so Umino does come out and challenges Sabre for the January 4th match at Wrestle Kingdom. And Sabre seemingly he challenges Sabre to a title match anywhere, anytime of your choosing, and Sabre agrees uh,
Mhm,
to that.
mhm,
So Umino makes his exit, and Sabre starts celebrating, and then his music cuts off, and we get Ricochet's music starts playing, and out comes Ricochet,
mhm,
and he attacks Zack Sabre Jr. Like he
mhm.
comes in with the springboard to attack Zack Sabre Jr. and takes him out, and he then gets the mic and he says, "I challenge you." He's like, how was it? I got the. Sorry, I'm looking at it right now. He says he wants to. He says he wants to win the belt, and he congratulates Zach on getting the championship. He says the one who holds the belt it has all the influence and is the best in the world. He wants the power. He wants the title, and he challenges him for January 5 at Wrestle Dynasty. He said January 5 and not January 5th. Come on, man. You're a native English
Right?
speaker. Oh, you're a native English speaker.
Oh, you got me with that one. Holy shit. Ah, yeah.
I look
I
forward to
must
this
say
match.
this. Yeah, I was gonna say, I must say this. I would look forward to this in the same way that I would look forward to Zack Sabre Jr. and Will Ospreay. Because essentially, I hate to say it, that's pretty much the same person. It's just one is bald and the other one's Will Ospreay. Um, here's the thing, though. The January 5, my guy. This is not you're not world champion over there. Like, come on. Uh, I'm not gonna lie, I was kinda I don't wanna say underwhelmed by this because it's impressive that this man in what looks to be a three-piece suit was able to come out there, springboard Zack Sabre Jr., and not lose his shoes and not Kota Ibushi sky sparkle his face in the process. I'm impressed with that. Do I see Ricochet as world champion in New Japan though? Oh hell nah. No, 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 no. You can talk, cut a promo if you're the champion. Zack Sabre Jr. cuts a mean frickin' promo. January 5. No,
Yeah.
you got some work to do, my guy, and I don't think you can do it in 2 months.
Yeah. So Rick, I hope by then he has MVP backing him up and can talk for him going into Wrestle Kingdom, but I don't see that happening for at least another 4 months or so. Because
Right.
he needs some, because he still has stuff on the lined up on the table as a good guy in AEW. So he ain't going to be joining with MVP for at least until the new year, probably a couple months in. So it's going to be a bit. So
Oh,
Ricochet
is
lines
he a
up.
heel?
No, he's a good guy right now. MVP and his Hurt Syndicate seem to be heels. So it looks like they're trying to align with Mercedes Moné, who is a bad guy. We'll see. I just think he needs MVP to talk for him, or anybody. Dude, Don Callis could talk for you. But Don Callis is a
No,
heel, and right now
no,
he's
no,
yeah,
no,
yeah,
no, no. Turn heel, Ricochet. It's for the best. Turn
yeah,
heel. Join Hurt
yeah.
whatever. The
Hurt
fudge.
Syndicate. Join the Syndicate.
Avoid
The
avoid the
Fudge.
phallus.
Well, the Phallus is also heel. Remember that.
I don't care. We don't
Uh,
need him.
so Ricochet lines up for his running kick, but Umino comes in running him off. Umino goes to lift Sabre up, but Sabre like shoves him away, tosses him out. Umino comes back in, and is very unhappy with it and hits a Death Rider. Great shot. Great picture work. Whoever took this picture did a good job capturing that.
Hmm.
But yeah, Umino hits the Death Rider, then picks up the title, standing over his Sabre, holding up the belt, and then drops it on him. So yeah,
No. Just no. And this is the thing where we have to revisit that we said earlier. The dynamic of the crowd changed for Umino between the first time we saw him in there in the night against Sonata versus here against Sonata. They were cheering him. They're happy to see him. Yay, Shota, glow sticks, identity crisis, yay. Um, they were booing the ever loving hell out of him when he emerged to come down to Zack Sabre Jr. And they were booing the ever loving hell out of him until the moment he left. Even when he ran out Ricochet. They weren't even really booing Ricochet. They were very intent on booing Shota. Um, it's interesting to see I'm gonna say schizophrenia of the crowd on this, which is relatable because there's some days where we really like Shota, and then there's some days where we're like, what in the flying fudge muffins are you doing? He still really hasn't figured out who he is. But I'm glad to hear that he's potentially separating himself from Moxley.
well,
Because
he's still
maybe
doing
that means
Moxie's move.
I know, but like as I was gonna say before you interrupted me there, I'm hoping that this means that we're gonna see an evolution in his moveset because he needs it. I am happy to see the evolution in the haircut. Hairstyle has changed a little bit. It's starting to look a little bit more unique to him, but he does need to start looking in the mirror a little bit and figuring out what else needs to kind of be brought out of him because I feel like right now we're just seeing several projections of who it is that he idolized growing up and getting into this business. What we need to see is who he is. And I feel that this run with Zack Sabre Jr. could be an opportunity, especially with all the chaos with Moxley happening and him separating himself from them, him saying he's not happy with Moxley and what are they still the Blackpool Combat Club or are they something else now?
I don't know.
I really don't care either. So whatever it is, they can stay over there. Here, sadly, I just hate acknowledging that they're in my backyard. But yeah, we'll kind of see how that plays out, man.
Yeah. So we weren't going to go through the announced Wrestle Kingdom matches, but it's been an hour and 48 minutes. So we're going to get out of here. If you want to hear us talk about that, check out the Japanese Wrestling Update this coming Friday. It will be a pre-recorded episode over on OLE or after the fact in audio form on A Plus Productions, A Plus Productions.com. So check us out.
Yeah.
We'll be talking about that. So we'll be recording that tomorrow. That'll come out Friday on OLE, and then it'll be out sometime after that on A Plus Productions whenever Boris gets that up there. But it's time to get the heck out of here, so we can go and I can work on this for the next hour and a half, and then finally go to bed. You can find me on the X at that Canada Guy, TikTok, Instagram, and Threads at that Canada Dude. You can find me on Facebook at Andre Melball Talk and our YouTube page, youtube.com/ at Andre Melball Talk. Again, you can hear us in audio form, A Plus Productions over on the A Plus Wrestling feed, aplusproductions.com. Also, go check out the Facebook page and join in with a group of very awesome people. Quick shout out to our local establishment. I will be back next week, November 13th, with Marvel Talk MCU Rebound, where we're going over the Captain America Civil War movie, which is the introduction of Spider-Man. Spider-Man. Sploot. Or, sorry, flip, not sploot, flip. I couldn't remember what the sound was. Spooderman. I don't know. Sorry, flip. Also, check out our boy Mike the Ref, youtube.com/@backbreaker video, where he simulcasts all of our stuff. You can also see him live at twitch.tv/Mike the Ref every Wednesday, Saturday, and pay-per-view Saturday or Sunday for AEW watch-alongs. You can also see replays of his gaming content over at youtube.com/@backbreaker_gaming. Melball, where can they find you so you can stop making that face?
Probably confused in my house. Holy moly. If you're wanting to follow Melball, you can follow her on the X thing at Collins Melball. You can follow her on everything else, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, Mastodon, and BlueSky at Melball Collins. You can also find me, as Andre mentioned, on our local establishment programming, Japanese Wrestling Update, every Friday at 8 p.m. Mountain Time. Unless it's not. And then we'll let you know on social media. As Andre mentioned, this will be a pre-recorded episode this Friday, as we will be attending the Sick Ain't It show. Is that what it's called?
RCW Sick Ain't It? A tribute to Vince Austin.
Yes. We're very much looking forward to it. We are seeing some familiar faces get back into the ring there. Colossal Cravings is going to be transforming.
No,
Remember Mario Galaxy?
Reverting.
Reverting. Okay, sure. We'll go with that. We'll see Colossal Cravings there. We're going to see some of our favorites, Kamikaze, Cody Mack, hopefully Son of Irish. Mitch Clark, love of my life. Excited for that show. You can also find me on Astro Preserve's YouTube channel, where we do our show, Ladies. Oh my God, he's the love of my life. You distracted me.
I was trying to get to it before you got off it, but
It's because I didn't do my heart, right? Anyway, you can also find me on Astro Pizarro's YouTube channel, where we do our show, Ladies Wrestling Showcase. We will hopefully be having a show coming out very, very soon. She is very stressed right now with all the changes happening in work and her country, so we are going to be getting on that when she feels better. Do we have a ticker for the new one yet? I don't think we do. So we will be having a show hopefully coming out in the next 2 weeks with the amazing Astro Pizarro, as well as the amazing Auntie Collins, for our local establishment called Women's Championship Wrestling, where we are going to be checking out some of the old women's matches, checking them out, reviewing them, talking about them, introducing you to some of the women who we were introduced to in our time of becoming women's professional wrestling fans. So stay tuned to our socials to see the official release date for that bad boy. Because again, glorious chaos is ensuing. Where do I go from here? If you're wanting to watch New Japan Wrestling, we will leave a link in the description box down below. It is NJPWworld.com. It is, I don't remember the yen price, but it is approximately 15 Canadian, which is like
lower, but
Sean's. Oh, a little bit lower?
14 something.
14 something. Well, that's like a Sean Spears and a half, which is an extra half never hurt nobody, right? Are you giving me 10 flashes of Sean Spears right now?
I'm not even sure what number I'm at.
Oh my God, it's still an amazing price to watch some amazing professional wrestling. And if you're wanting a little taste of what NJPW has to offer you, you can check out their World TV Title Championship matches, which are all 100% free on the website mentioned, njpwworld.com. So you can check out Zack Sabre Jr., you can check out Jeff Cobb, you can see some familiar faces with Hiroshi Tanahashi, Matt Riddle, if that tickles your diddle. Doesn't mind. It was the only thing that I could think of that rhymed with riddle, okay? He's not a favorite of mine. I didn't delve into the good book of rhymes on that one. I'm sorry. Andre. Andre, my trusted friend and colleague. Sir, chin up, tits out, watch for the shoe. Why are you dying? What did I say?
Diddle. I was ashamed of that, so I hid.
Oh, okay. Well, we have to close out the show still, so. Andre, my trusted friend and colleague. Do you have anything else to say to the beautiful people?
Diddle.
Dingle dangle.
I just want to thank y'all for joining us here. If you're listening to us on A Plus Production, please like the feed on whatever podcast app you're on, and go to the Facebook page and join it. If you are watching us on the YouTube page, please like the video, subscribe to the channel, comment down below, because we love talking to you guys about all the great professional wrestling that there is out there. Don't forget to share us with our friends, family, and people who own clothespins. And don't forget to hit that notification bell so you can be alerted every time we drop a new video.
Ding dong. I don't have clothespins.
Hello.
Oh, sweet baby Jesus. That being said,
Hello.
I'm Melball. Or there is Unhinged Andre. We will see you next time. Adios.